Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and I know with another new all uniform sale, you guys are clamoring to know which uniforms you absolutely cannot miss, which ones are must buys, and which ones you can sort of safely avoid or do without. But it's hard to do a top uniform list. I have to admit that, essentially the way that it works in Marvel Future Fight, every single uniform is an upgrade. So every single uniform is technically a must buy if you want to play with that character. But that's not helpful because there's like 300 or 400, I don't know, there's like hundreds, literally hundreds of uniforms. If I go here and I go over to owned, I can literally scroll here for a good 10 seconds. No, okay, 5 seconds, but still, there's like well over 200 uniforms. And that's given the fact that many characters don't have a single uniform. So that means there's double, we know the Captain America has 10 uniforms, etc. So anywho, I decided to make two different lists. One is for free to play and low spending players. This is sort of aimed at players who are either very low spenders, which means that they're budgeting, or they are newer players in the sense that they haven't yet built out their entire roster. So this is not only going to give you ideas for uniforms, but it's also going to give you ideas for characters that would obviously use those uniforms. Because if you buy a uniform for a character you don't own, you get nothing. You got nothing. Willy Wonka. Yeah, you can't use the character. So yeah, buying a uniform without having the character just doesn't have any value. And then I'm going to give you another list later on in the video for endgame players / veterans. And these are basically the top 10 uniforms that I think every endgame player, every veteran should have on their roster. And I'll give you justifications for that. Obviously, if you are an endgame player, there's more uniforms that I'm going to list, but I just chose the 10 most influential and the 10 most important for PvE and PvP. I tried to be balanced in that because there are a lot of players that only play PvE and there are some players that only play PvP and so on and so forth. Now, before we get into either list, however, there is one character. There's a single character, a single uniform that is above all. You could call this uniform the one above all. Or, in Netmarble's case, the one that almost made us a ton of real money. And that is Holiday Lady Deadpool, or Deadpool Holiday Party. This Deadpool Holiday Party uniform is easily the #1 PvE, especially for World Boss, the #1 World Boss uniform. This uniform completely transforms Deadpool. I just cannot express how strong this makes Deadpool and how easily you can just smash. I can easily do stage 70 of any World Boss I want, except maybe Ebony and Thanos. But anyways, yeah, I can just steamroll multiple world bosses. Easily, I can steamroll 5 world bosses, stage 60, 70 in under a minute. It's absolutely insane. It's like, it's insanity. You don't even understand. Like, sometimes I don't even understand. The bars just melt. And it all has to do with Deadpool Parade with the base -80 all defense down. This is by far the highest all defense down we have in the game. I believe 60 or 65 is the highest we have beneath it. So it's 15% higher than Silver Surfer or Odin. But unfortunately, this uniform is not on sale. It has not been on sale since December 2019. So if you see this uniform on sale, it should cost 1,050 crystals. Buy it immediately. If the uniform's not on sale and you're a heavy spender, buy it immediately. There's very few reasons why you shouldn't buy this uniform, okay? That's all I want to say. It's not going to be on either list, but it is an absolute must-buy uniform if it's available because it is just insanely powerful for Deadpool. And it actually makes Deadpool better for PvP as well. Turns out it has some PvP flexibility there. So now let's bang out the free-to-play / low-spending player / newer player top 10 for the 10 uniforms that you should have. Now, of course, for this list, I am considering mostly or almost entirely free-to-play characters because you're a lower spender or you're a free-to-play player or you're a newer player. So I don't expect you to be throwing tons of money to get all the native tier 2s, to get all the premium characters and things like that, right? That's sort of goes without saying. So coming in at number 10, we have Captain America Hydra. This uniform turns him into a villain, turns him into a blast type, and gives him a much stronger -30% ignore resist all defense down. Now he has that on his endgame uniform, but that is still a combat hero. The reason why I don't choose the endgame uniform as his hero uniform, as the one for Captain America, is because we have a lot of strong free-to-play combat heroes now. We have War Tiger, Gorilla Man, Swordmaster, Amadeus Cho, we got the new Red Hulk, we've got lots of characters that can fill that niche. We don't have a lot of free-to-play friendly blast villains. We really don't. He's one of a select few, and then he still retains the flexibility, unlike all of the other blast villains, where he can at any time transform back into a combat hero. So that's why he's number 10. Strong uniform, good as a striker, good as a standalone character. He's got healing, he's got reality manipulation, which is like time freeze. He's got a lot of extra tricks up his sleeve that unfortunately endgame Captain America does not have. Coming in at number 9, because you get him for free at 6 stars from the Legendary Battle, Taskmaster's uniform is an awesome pickup, simply because even at 6 stars, he does not have to be tier 2. So you just pick him up from the Legendary Battle, you level him up to level 60, and then you just buy this uniform, and boom, you now have one of the best support buffs for damage for PvE content, world boss content, ABX, squad battle, PvP, because it applies to heroes and villains equally. So you can take this into PvP and do more damage against Thanos and Jean Grey. You can take this up against Quicksilver world boss and Corvus world boss, and you can do more damage to both. So it's just a fantastic pickup. And it, again, Taskmaster applies to all all characters, not just heroes, not just villains. So yeah, it's great. Coming in at number 8, excuse me, we have, once I can find it, Rogue's uniform for Uncanny Avengers. And this one is very good because she's an easily farmable character, and this uniform is just a 0 to hero transformation, healing, all defense down, iframes, she's got the whole shebang, self buff, super armor, just minus 55 all defense down. She just becomes a very easy to play, very fun, very strong character. And speed types are not that easy to come by in strong, with the strong tanky speed types are not that easy to come by nowadays without a uniform. So you kind of have to bite the bullet on that one. Coming in at number 7, you get her for free at 6 stars from the Legendary Battle as well, Captain Marvel Endgame. It's just a fantastic uniform, flexible for PvE and PvP, iframe ignore, crazy self buffs, long iframes, just absolutely amazing. Not as good, but you can also get this one. I don't know why you would get this one instead of this one, the Captain Marvel movie, because they're the same price. But yes, if you have to choose between one of them, Endgame is technically better. I just want to make that clear that you could go with the other one, the older one, the slightly older one, if you for some reason have it and you haven't purchased Endgame yet. There's synergy uniforms, so there's not really much of a difference there, but there is a difference. Coming in at number 6, we have Mysterio Far From Home, and I suggest this one. He's very, very good for Shadowland. He can also do World Boss. He's not bad there. He's not even bad for newer PvP because he's got 66% damage reduction. So he actually becomes very tanky, and he has healing, and he's got some penetration. He's actually really, really good character, and you get him, again, for free at 6 stars in the Legendary Battle, so it's not difficult to build him up, and so this uniform will immediately propel him into much more than just usable territory. Next up at number 5 on the list, we have Colossus Phoenix 5. This is the first hard-to-obtain character, but I have to put him in the top 5, even for free-to-play, low-spending players, because once you get him to tier 2 and you get this uniform, he just transforms. Not only is he a good character, penetration, iframe penetration, or sorry, not iframe penetration, guard break immunity penetration. He's got ignore dodge. He's got, he's a really strong character on his own. He's got all defense down, but then the uniform effect transforms his own passive to give everyone on your team at tier 2, not only reflects physical reflect and decreases the effect of it, but also decreases damage received. So he's basically the opposite of a Shuri or a Taskmaster or a Mystique, where he reduces all incoming damage, and this works for any content. Galactus Giant Boss Raid, World Boss, PvP, Squad Battle, ABX. It works for everything. So it's a very, very strong passive. It's basically the ultimate defensive passive in the game, and it's not even close. Like no other defensive passive, 30% HP, I would rather have this. There's so many other passives that you could have, but you're gonna want this one for a long time because it services any character on your roster. Coming in at number 4, this is going to be a bit of a surprise to people, Cosmic Ghost Rider. Punisher is easily farmable from either the Rift Shop, the Rift Token Shop, or the new Epic Quest, and this uniform transforms him into a villain, transforms him into a universal type, gives him buff removal, which is clutch for Shadowland. He has accumulation, he has healing, he has iframes, and some people are actually saying he got stronger with this latest patch for Odin and Red Hulk. So it'll be interesting to test that out. But he's also a very easy character to build up because his passive here has ignored defense, and then his passive here has cooldown. So he's very, very forgiving if you have bad cards. So I think this is actually a fantastic uniform for newer players. It'll ease them into the game. It'll teach them a lot of mechanics, and it will, you know, really allow them to excel without pouring a ton of resources into a character. And of course, Punisher is easy to get. Coming in at number 3, this is I'm kind of cheating here, but number 3 is all of the best uniforms from the Thor Ragnarok Legendary Battle. So what I'm talking about here, shouldn't have clicked that. What I'm talking about here are the rewards that you get for having these 3 uniforms at Heroic. So I'm talking about Thor Ragnarok, which gives you this Loki 2 premium card, which is amazing for newer players and low spenders. It's basically a free card. Just pay 1,000 crystals, get this uniform up to Heroic, and cash in on the card, and then you can equip it forever. Lots of players still use this card because it's very, very good. And then when you get Loki's uniform, Loki's Ragnarok uniform to Heroic, you get another premium card. Not as good as the Thor premium card, but still very good for lower spending players. And then if you get Hela's uniform to Heroic, you get a CTP of energy. You cannot downplay or understate the value of those 3 things. I know it's 3,000 crystals and it's farming that you have to do, but getting these uniforms to Heroic does not take a long time. You can get tons and tons of uniform upgrade kits. What am I doing? Tons of uniform upgrade. Okay. Tons of uniform upgrade kits from the Rift Shop every single day, so you don't have to worry about farming those up anymore. It's not a hassle. So there's really no reason why every player in the game should not have those 2 premium cards. So if I do another roast video, I'm going to say this right now. If I do another roast video and I catch you and you have bad cards and your cards are worse than owning those 2 cards that I just mentioned, Loki 1 and Loki 2, let's find, they're right there. If you don't have those cards equipped and you have some donkey cards equipped like MODOK Assassin 1 and Marvel Zombies, I'm gonna somehow mail you an old dirty shoe. And then I'm going to put your name up on my wall of shame. I'm going to make a wall of shame for you. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a wall of shame for you. So go get those cards, chump. Come on. Trust me. You'll thank me later. It's going to change your life. Your future fight life. Your future fighting. Anywho, coming in at number 2, you probably expected this already. Sharon Rogers, Captain America, Starlight, the first star I see tonight. Star Knight armor. Yeah, amazing character. You get her for free tier 2. Why is she not number 1? Well, here's the thing. The only thing that she doesn't excel at is PvP. She can do some PvP early on, but once you get into more advanced opponents, she's just gonna fall off. You're just gonna start losing a lot of your games. So who is number 1? Who could possibly be number 1? A character you also get for free at tier 2 when you do the story mode, Black Widow Snowsuit. That's right. This is the number 1 uniform for low spending, free to play new players because it's very easy to play. It's super safe. It's extremely safe. All you have to do is 4 and 5. It's so safe. It's so safe. It's too safe. You're going to get bored. You're going to be like, I want to be more adventurous. I want to play more aggressively. But it's an amazing uniform. It can be a little bit hard to proc on your obelisk for PvE, but she does enough damage that you can do lower stages easily, and she will dominate PvP for you. You will get so many wins. You will kill so many teams. The only hard counter against her at the moment and for the foreseeable future is Immortal Hulk and Silver Surfer. So as long as you're not fighting those characters, and Hulk is basically banned all the time, so we're only talking about Silver Surfer, she will get you easy wins. Even at tier 2, she can kill tier 3 Jeans, tier 3 Thanoses. It is insane. She doesn't even need guard break immunity. Cannot stress how strong this uniform is. Not going to go as high as Sharon Rogers in PvE, but her PvP value is undeniable, and she will be able to net you crystals and to put you in a higher bracket and put you into a higher league, and that will get you more crystals back in the short term and in the long term than Sharon could. So you get a return on your uniform purchase way faster. So now that we've done that, let's go and do part 2. So part 2 is for end game and veteran players, and these are uniforms that I expect that you should have if you've been playing for at least a couple of years, if you spent a couple of $100 or a couple of $1,000, because these uniforms are just very good for some of the best characters in the game. And for obvious reasons, I'm not going to be overlapping the list. So some of, I assume you already have those 10 uniforms I just talked about. I'm not saying that these 10 uniforms are all better than those 10 uniforms. Obviously, like the 10th best uniform on this list is not going to be as good as the 1, 2, 3 on the other list. But as an end game player, I assume that you have, better cards by now. You have better characters for this and for that, etc. Or you have different builds and you just don't need to do that necessarily. So coming in at number 10 for this veteran end game player list, we have, it's so much harder to look at it this way, but we have Wasp, Ant-Man and the Wasp. And this is purely for PvP here. This uniform is an upgrade over this one because it just makes her tankier. It gives her a moving immunity shield that she can sort of save you with, protect you with, guide you with. Not guide, but anyways, she can protect you with it because it moves around with her. But you buy this uniform because of the passive here. All allies get 10% increased HP. Bada bing, bada boom, that's it. It's for PvP. It synergizes with Winsome Wasp. That's all you really need to know. It's really that easy. Coming in at number 9, we have the White Fox Lifestyle Series 1. Now, White Fox is known and used for the Kumiho stance passive. Why does it block her face like that? Anyways, it gives all allies with leadership, I believe it's 50 or 55% increased damage dealt to supervillains, but they increased it. They increased the passive bonus with her new uniform. On top of that, maybe they didn't actually. Maybe it was always 60%. But anyways, on top of that, the uniform passive gives all allies with the leadership ability. It was always 60%. Okay. But anyways, her uniform gives all allies with the leadership ability. So again, the same characters she was buffing with her tier 2 passive, 10% all attack and immunity to fear. So again, this is just buffs. This is just passive buffs. And these are just things for support characters to become stronger and to do more damage and to just excel more. So, you're looking for tinier upgrades. And you're expecting smaller upgrades as you climb the ladder and as you become more of an endgame veteran player. There aren't going to be those huge leaps in value like Colossus, Phoenix 5, and stuff like that. Coming in at number 8, we have the brand new SheHulk Avengers. And again, small incremental bonus, but if you haven't purchased any uniform for SheHulk, her original leadership gives you 48% increased damage dealt to male types. And keep in mind, this is a separate multiplier, which is why it's such a strong leadership. It's one of the best, if not the best leaderships in the game anytime you're fighting a male character. But when you get this uniform, and that's why you want to get it, it goes all the way up to 65%. So almost a 20% jump. Very, very good for that reason. And it's a decent upgrade for SheHulk herself. Not transcendent, but not bad either. Coming in at, I believe, number 7, we have Nimrod. Excellent uniform for PvE and PvP, striker, and stuff like that for all defense down because of the natural order effect. Oh, it's actually 75. I said 65 was the highest with Silver Surfer and Odin, but no, he's 75. So he's actually very close to Deadpool's 85. Interesting. Now, here's the thing. The reason why Nimrod wasn't on the other list is because this is a premium character with a premium uniform. So you're going to have to purchase multiple bio subscriptions, or you're going to have to purchase a Mega Mythic uniform upgrade ticket. You can get Mega Mythic uniform upgrade tickets from playing content, first-time rewards in Shadowland, etc. But that's going to take a lot of investment, right? That ticket is at stage like 75 of Shadowland. So if you're already able to hit stage 75 of Shadowland, you're not a new player / low spender / free to play player, unless you've been playing for 5 years, in which case you're a veteran. So we see how that goes. But yeah, Nimrod, excellent uniform. You should definitely have it. Coming in at number 6, we have Namor Phoenix 5. Namor's a very good character on his own, and then he turns into a villain with Phoenix 5, and he gets a bunch of fire damage based skills. I don't really have to talk too much about this. There's tons of videos on Namor. He's just a powerhouse, hits like a truck, just doesn't have much PvP value. Speaking of not having much PvP value, coming in at number 5, we have Luna Snow Lifestyles 1. It's not as big of an upgrade as Andromeda was from Modern, so you're not going to see as big of a jump from here to here, from here to here as you did from here to here, but it's still an upgrade for her. It gives her cold resistance down on freezing dance up to -30, which is a brand new ability for her, and I believe it also gives her some cold damage. Very exciting there, and I think it makes her encore passive trigger a little bit more often. Yeah, I think it bumps up the rate from 30 to 60% or 35%. No, it was always okay. So it was from the original Modern. Okay, so yeah, it's basically just the cold resistance and the 10% cold damage, but it is worth it. And she gets a new iframe on her 4th skill, or like it's not a new iframe, but it's a bit more early in the animation. So yeah, again, it's not a huge upgrade, but she's such a strong character and such a strong PvE presence that you're gonna want to have it. Coming in at number 4, and I hesitate to put this one at number 3, but I put it at number 4 for now, Odin Allfather. I think this uniform, I can't really say too much about it now because I haven't done extensive testing in the short amount of time since it's come out, but I do think this uniform is going to make a big impact in the meta for both PvE and PvP. So yeah, all the devs need to do is fix the Raven on Raven Pulse to heal Odin even if he's an iframe. That's all they need to fix about this uniform to make it perfect. Coming in at number 3, Thanos Endgame. Still a powerhouse for PvP, will probably always be a powerhouse for PvP, and he has some other uses there. He's getting a bit rusty in terms of some PvE action. I don't think, and I hope he's not going to get a replacement uniform anytime soon, because he's just been in the meta for so long. I'm kind of sick and tired of Thanos. But yeah, still fantastic. Still, you know, still gets underrated from time to time. So you definitely want to get this uniform. Coming in at number 2, you're going to be surprised here for endgame veteran players. It's Jean Grey. Now, for Jean Grey, it doesn't matter which uniform you get. Essentially, they're both pretty much the same. Some people will argue that this one's better. Some people will argue that this one's better. It's really just up to you and what you prefer. There are definitely pros and cons to both. There are definitely pros and cons to both. I'm not going to get into them now. I've done it in other videos. I've done comparisons. But yeah, as long as you have one of these uniforms for Jean and it's maxed out, you're laughing. You're sitting pretty. And then, therefore, we come to number 1. Pretty obvious at this point, Silver Surfer. Now, Silver Surfer, amazing character. Definitely gets a huge jump at tier 3, but this uniform is just amazing because of what it does. Not only does it increase his revive passive by 10% HP, so he gets more of that. Not only does it give him 10% attack, it's also his first uniform, so it gives him all these crazy base stats. But then the biggest thing is that on his 3rd skill, Aura of Radiance, it adds penetration. This alone is worth the cost of the uniform. The fact that he has 100% penetration means that you cannot hide and you will just be obliterated. As soon as he catches you, as soon as he counters you, you're dead. Anyone's dead. It does way too much damage, way too high of a burst. It heals him. It has paralysis. It has remove active buff, and then it penetrates anyways. It's got a guard hit. It's got accumulation. Yeah, you can one-shot almost any character with this pretty much every single time. It's bananas. It's actually disgusting, and it's amazing for PvE if you can get it to work. It's a little bit more tricky for PvE, but yeah, it's bonkers. So, he's number 1. I stand by that, definitely. He makes PvP a lot more spicy because of that. So, with that being said, let me know what you think of the 2 lists that you see here. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you want to see next, and let me know if you disagree with the list, and if you add anybody or remove anybody or move anybody around, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.